Okay, now this is gonna be a little serious conversation. I can't say how long this is going to be, but I just feel like this is a conversation. Listen, let's just say I want to talk about the truth about depression and why so many people struggle with depression. They struggle with overcoming depression. Now, I don't want to do all this psychological doctor, way they go about it. I want to do it from the human perspective. How, as a human, not psychological stuff, which I understand it can be. Now, I'm going to make some comments about medication that people take. Excuse me, that people take depression. So please know that my personal views do not outweigh your view, situation, or anything that you worked out with medical profession. So please do not take this as that. If you're on medication, do not. I am not saying that. These are just my personal views. So please understand that when I get to that part, so you will know that what I'm saying is I'm telling you personal opinion. There's nothing that should outweigh what your doctor is doing, but certainly consult your doctor if you have any questions. So here's my thing about depression, why so many people have a hard time overcoming it. Because to me, when I think depression, all the symptoms they give you for what a person is going through that they consider to be depression. It could be anything. They see a person outburst, they're angry, they're irritable. Well, if I don't have money to pay my bills and my family is struggling and I'm about to lose my job, I'm going to be irritable. I'm going to be, you know, have outbursts. I'm going to be frustrated. They say you might start seeing back physical pains if you're overweight. There are many things that can cause it. So the symptoms are not uh, absolute 100 that yes, this is depression, because there's a variety of things that those symptoms can relate to outside of depression. So, but it's my thing to just get straight into it. A lot of people, I'm not saying everybody's situation is different, but a lot of people, when they are depression or they are depressed, in life, it is their life. It's the people who look back on their life and feel like my life hasn't meant, I haven't done anything. The people who feel like they can't accomplish anything. The people who feel like they're stuck, they're trapped. The people who feel like, everything I do fails. The people who feel like everybody who comes in either walks out, leaves, dies, feel like they have that much of a negative impact on other people because their life has been filled. When it's going through depression, they look at their circumstances and they don't see a way out. They just don't see it. They don't see a way out where they are. I knew this one guy who was paying child support. He picked up a now he was paying his child support. He picked up a second job to help him just to break even, to at least get his head where his eyes were above the wall. And once he did that, they started child support from the second check. So he ended up making 20 some dollars a month. The man that felt like there was no, he felt like he could not, he felt like nothing he could do would change his life for the better. Because every step he took to improve his life, in order to make his life better, there was something that came against him. You're working three jobs and they're taking child support from three jobs. He was making $22 a check on one check. I think on the other check he was making like $33. So I understand why this man felt like it's pointless. He felt like everything is pointless. People who go through depression or people who are depressed, It's not always a pill thing. It's not always put them on medication. It's going to be fine because there's a deeper underlying problem. Like I said, I want to look at this from a human perspective. I don't want to look as like psychologists or that look at it who automatically think chemical imbalance, slap some pills in them, balance them out, and their life be perfect. Because the worst thing you can tell somebody who is going through depression is take these. Once we get your body chemical balance better, you're gonna be good. Or as people would tell them, oh, well, fix the situation. You know, if every situation in life was so easy to fix, then people would not be going through anything. Every situation a person goes through is not an easy fix. Excuse my voice. I've been doing talks all week long, so my voice is like really barely hanging on. But the thing about it is, you know, when a person is going through depression, they really do feel like they're trapped, they're stuck. And people seem to listen because everybody wants to give them a superficial answer. Or people give them this, like, oh, it's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. Oh, just hang. And normally that person might be like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. But then there is a destructive war going inside that person, a destructive war, because they really do feel like I wouldn't care if it ended tomorrow. I wouldn't care if it was over tomorrow. They just want it to be done. They just want it over with because they're having a difficult time figuring out how to get ahead, how to solve everything. One check. I told you my throat was bothering because I've been talking all week. So, but yeah, people, you know, who are going through depression, who are depressed. The truth is, until situations in their life, like I said, this don't apply to everybody, but most people, there are circumstances in their life that they don't talk about. That's the real problem. That's the real issue. That's making it difficult for them to get over that hump. Most people think it's money. Most people think, you know, it's finances. You know, sometimes health issues is not really a person's biggest concern. There are people who are dealing with a sickness, they're dealing with the illness, but their real fight is trying to fight the fact that they feel alone. They feel empty inside. They feel a void. Some people, like I said earlier, some people feel like everybody who comes into their life is going to walk away, is going to leave. They don't have anybody they can trust. They don't have nobody they believe in. So when they start going down that dark road, the problem for them is they have nothing to pull them back. And one thing I tell people when I do lectures, even when I talk privately, you need something that can pull you back from a dark place. And you will be surprised how many people in this world don't have anything to pull them back. Well, that's what I was talking about at the beginning. You know, the way depression is described, it could be anything. It could be anything. Describe it as a person who, you know, who's lacking emotions, a person who is emotionally unstable. Then they go into the symptoms. They start talking. A person may have experience a person experiencing physical pain or suffering, backaches, knee aches, headaches. They talk about a person being irate, having mood swings, but it's a lot of things that can cause that. It's a lot of things. So that's what I'm saying. When you talk about depression, You can't really go by the symptoms that they're trying to say that are depression, because if you can't pay your bills, you're going to have mood swings. It don't mean you're depressed. You're just trying to figure out what you're trying to do in life. You're just trying to figure out how to fix your situation. Yes, it's true. I'm trying to comment the show. Okay, can a person be depressed because he or she is depressed? I should have asked you before I put that up there. Take that down, unless you say it's okay to show your comment. Show. But if a person is oppressed, they can reach. Uh, you can call it depression. You can label it as a person who is feeling resentment. So there are things that can come from being oppressed. But yes, a person can find themselves in a state of depression when they are oppressed, or emotionally, you know, uh, discouraged. They can be emotionally unbalanced because they're unhappy with the situation. They're dissatisfied with life. They're dissatisfied with what they are or with their situation. But it also depends on what do you mean by when he or she is oppressed. What is oppressed? How are you defining oppressed? Because that can happen in different ways. So it just kind of means like, what do you mean when you say a person is being oppressed? How are they being oppressed? Because there's a difference between a person being they're being prevented from growing. They're restricted from actually doing things in life. They're restricted from emotionally growing, professionally growing, personally growing. That type of oppression can really lead to a person being depressed. It can lead to resentment. It can lead to anger. It can lead to a lot of emotion issues. But when you say somebody depressed because uh, a kid wants to go to a party and their father or mother or father won't let them to a party, that's not oppressed. So it just kind of, what do you mean when you say oppressed? Like I said, I apologize. I've been speaking all week and my voice is starting to go out. There's a lot of yelling. Shit, grief. But anyway, like I was saying, when a person is dealing with depression, is a condition of depression any condition that is non just correct or non peaceful? Is a condition of depression that is non just non and non peaceful. Not really. I mean, because when you're talking about if you're dealing with a situation, the environment, or is it the people in the environment? Because you can be in an environment where the environment can be rating or the environment can be hostile. If you're talking about, um, like, it just kind of means like, what do you mean by non-correct? When a situation is non-correct, would that be something like injustice? Would that be something like moral or ethically something is wrong? I can understand that environments can be non-peaceful. Certain relationships can be non-peaceful. Like I said, which are really affect the person emotionally, which could make a person feel depressed about their life. They can be depressed about the relationship. They can be depressed about the fact that they feel like they're trapped and can't get out. So that definitely can play a part as far as a person being in a situation to where things are non-peaceful. But the thing is, a person who may be feeling depressed feels like they don't have a way out. It's like they're trapped. So, is it a situation to where a person does have, but they just can't seem to make up their mind if they should stay or go? Or is this person in a situation to where no alternative but to remain in a situation that is not correct or not peaceful? So when people are dealing with depression, it's tough. It's tough because it can change a person. It can change a person can be strong and think, I'm going to be the person to make a difference in the world this way. I'm going to be the person to make a difference in my community. I'm going to be a good man, a good woman. But when a person comes to the point in their life to where they realize that, uh, no, no, it's not a condition, simply the absence of peace, because nobody has 24 hours. There's going to be, you just don't have peace. So it's not a condition of simply, the absence of peace. So, a lot of people, no, I lost my thought. Uh, so people, they start, I forgot what I was going to say. Uh, when people, what was I saying? When people feel like they can't move on. Oh, I forgot what I was saying. Um, I forgot what I was going to say. It'll come back to me. But no, it's not simple absence of peace, because there's a lot of people who don't have peace in their everyday life, but they're not depressed. So it's neither absence of peace. Most people go into depression because of the fact that they can't find, there's something in their life that's missing. There's a void, there's an emptiness, there's confusion. They feel like they aren't what they're supposed to be. That's really a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation, because when you start talking about white supremacy, that's not a depression mentality. That's not a depression mentality. That's not under depression. When you talk about white supremacy, you're a whole different mindset. You're talking about a whole, you're talking about a narcissistic. You're talking about systemic racism. Then you're getting into the whole, just a whole nother thing when you talk white supremacy. Because no, white supremacy is something else. That's another in this world, but it's not depression. So when people are dealing with depression, it's really difficult to oftentimes find people that you can relate to, people that you can actually talk to, who want to understand where they're going in their life and what they're trying to do. Because when you're dealing with depression, people don't realize how many times you actually spend your day thinking, if you could just disappear and tell no one, you would. If you can leave and go somewhere else, you would. And people don't seem to understand, you know, you disappear, you would, because you really feel like you don't matter. Because something in your life is broken. Something in is out of place. And when you can't figure out how to fix it, and you feel like it's such an important part of you, then you really do become in this state of mind to where you just get to a point over time to where you just feel like thing is going to work. No matter what I try to do, it's not going to work. That's why you see a lot of people who go through relationship after relationship, and you find people who just decided that, I give up. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to try to be in a relationship. I don't start a relationship. They rather be alone and miserable than to run the risk of letting somebody get close to them, letting somebody get inside of them, because it's in their mind. It's kind of like Logan used to always say in the Marvel movies, you know, you don't want to be close to me, because everyone gets close to me gets hurt or they die. And some people really feel like that. They feel like everybody who comes into that leave. Why do you think characters, especially TV characters, who have a abandoned and depressed mental state are so popular? Think about Dean from the show Supernatural, Logan. you know, Batman. These characters who find themselves in the United States often get a very big following because in reality, they are saying things that people are feeling every day. They're expressing the same emotions that everyday people are feeling and thinking. And it's the things they want to say, but they don't have, they don't have no one to say it to or speak it to, or they're just simply saying that I think I just keep it to myself. And like I said, they have that internal battle within themselves. They're fighting within themselves. They're fighting within themselves. Really do struggle. And it's hard when you're dealing with depression because depression can be a variety of things in a person's life. It can that a person say, I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of being, empty inside. I don't have any physical touch from anybody. But someone else who hears that would probably say, well, you know what? Oh, just go to the club. You'll meet somebody. Do this. You'll meet. Everybody has what seems to be simple answers for, you know, a real problem. But the truth is, if it was that easy just to meet somebody and find somebody and have somebody to touch and have somebody to hold, anybody would do it. Everybody would have it. But some people aren't just looking for somebody to lay in bed with. They're not just looking for sexual. Some people are looking for something more in depth. You don't find that what's more in depth. They do reach a point to where they feel like I'm depressed. Because they feel like they'll never get it. They'll never have it. Especially the older people get in life. And then the older people get and they feel, wow, I'm approaching my final days and they're mad. They come to a mindset of, you know, I have to dramatically lower my, which normally brings them more disappointment into a deeper state of mental depression and emotional, unstableness regarding relationships. So you have to be conscious of what a person is going through and why they feel a certain way. Because when a person is actually going through a depression, like I said, many people just give them vague and general statements of get up, you can do it. If I overcame it, you can too. And the truth is, always work that way. It's not that simple. Like I said, if it was that easy to feel life, you would. People, but it's not that easy. Normally, people who are dealing with true depression, you know, it's not just one obstacle they're trying to overcome. It's multiple. It's multiple obstacles. And sometimes it be really deeper, depending on how they've been fighting that fight. Because some people have, been fighting stuff for so long and so many years to where they are going on autopilot. They're just existing. They're not even trying to change anything, not trying to win the fight war. They are just waiting to get knocked out, and they're just going through the motions. They'll go to work. They'll do what they're supposed to do. They'll go to, you know what I'm saying? They'll go out with friends. They'll put on a smile, and but everything they do is just to get through the next day. That's it. That's it. And it's a lot of people don't really understand that people are fighting with something on the inside to where they don't see a way out. And no matter how sick you may be, they don't see a way out. And that's why I tell people, when you deal with people on your job, deal with people, you know, in life, in grocery stores, when you see that cashier, when you see that bank, when you see that security guard, see that concierge service, that housekeeper, that building services, that maintenance person, that firefighter, whoever it is, you have to keep in mind that What you're seeing in just that few minutes is not even a ounce of what that person is probably dealing with in their mind, the struggles that they're trying to deal with, especially nowadays. See, because there's a difference between being frustrated and concerned than being depressed. Because a person can be with a job and be like, wow, oh, this whole COVID thing, I just don't know if I'm gonna have a job next week, what I'm gonna do. So, oh man, you getting depressed. No, they're not getting depressed, they're concerned. They're frustrated with the unknown. A person who's depressed has determined that the unknown is not about what's coming. The fact that there is no unknown. This is it. I am in it. And there's nothing. What you see right now, this is the way it's gonna end for me. And that's how they see it. And that's why I tell people, be careful about how you people, how you snap on people. And I try to be mindful that when I go to stores, when I go out in public, when I'm working with people, that I don't pick battles unless it's necessary. I don't respond to things unless it's necessary. Because oftentimes you'll respond to something, and I try to put myself in the fact that, you know, they may have one on at home. If I got a bad cashier, as long as she rings my stuff, he or she rings my stuff up right, they don't speak, that's fine. Because he may be in an abusive relationship, wife may be cheating, her husband may be cheating. The kids may be going through that age to where they can't and don't know what's going on. So I always try to be mindful of that. Depression is something people that people take serious. I don't always agree with the fact that medication is the answer. Sometimes I think we need solutions. People need solutions and second chances. Or they need to be shown a door. Like, hey, if you walk through this door, it's going to take you a step closer. And some people are just running into the locked door and they're tired. They're frustrated. And that's when they feel depressed. And they're no longer trying to open doors anymore. They just sit in the middle of the room and they're just waiting. They're hoping that the room floods, it catches a fire, and they just become content with it. They become content with it because that has become life to them. They're tired of running into locked doors. You got 100, you banged on everyone and throwed your shirt at everyone, and the only thing you got to show for it is a sore shoulder and nothing. But you're watching everybody else move forward, and the people you're helping. Some people can be the most helpful people and still be depressed. They can sit there and you about the power of life and love and moving forward. And when they go home, they're depressed. You have to be mindful of that. We live in a very unforgiving world. It is not a solution based world. It is not a second chance world. And when people live in a world to where they don't get second chances and they can't find some, settle to be stagnant. They settle for it. They settle to just live in there. And they just want somebody to throw dirt on them. Like I said, you'll be surprised how many people, if they were given the opportunity to where somebody said, I have a mountain, I have a house or cabin in this mountain, there's one there. And all you got to do is maintain the upkeep, and we'll deliver food, 2 weeks worth of food every 2 weeks, or every 30 days will be 30 days worth of food. But you'll be out there by you. You'd be surprised how many people would take that offer. You'd be surprised. Because to them, it's a solution. It's a solution. They're out of the room, but they're in the room to where they don't have to look at those doors. That's the life that somebody live mindset. that somebody has. Because that's, like I said, not a solution-based society. Really not. And this is not a second chance society. Only for a few. Only for a few is it a second chance. And people who are in position to give people a second chance are too busy screaming, "Get up, I did it, you can do it." It's sad. But like I said, that's why a lot of people are really attracted to these uh movie acting, these movies, to where you have a character who, wants isolation, and who's dealing with suffering and hurt and pain. They have a huge following. And it's not on the actor. There's nothing against the actor. That just shows you that in today's world, there are people who are struggling. There are a lot of people who are hurting. There's a lot of people in this world that's hurting. And no pill can, because no pill can fix the fact that you can't seem to find a stable relationship. No pill can fix the fact that no matter how many jobs you get, you still get ahead. No prescription medicine is going to fix the fact that you're home, and whenever you try to get them, something comes up. You got people out here who's working full-time jobs and still home. You know, but that's the world we live in. Yeah. This world built on solutions and second chances. That's why we got so many takers in there. Takers also people into depression, because takers don't care what they don't care who they hurt. They just want to get need to push them ahead. And if they got to take for you to leave you in the desert with nothing, they will, because they see it as is their uprise. But the one thing about people that depressed, they just really believe that they don't contribute anymore. They don't have anything to contribute. They feel like they don't matter. They feel like there's nothing there for them. Especially if they don't have any family, if they don't have any friends, if they don't want to confide in. So they start looking in other places. And that's just the reality of it. It's the reality. You know that some of the people who have been the nicest to me are people that most people would not associate with. I'm talking about people that would actually sit down with me and have a conversation, and didn't even have to. It's people you would look at and say, "Oh God, they won't want that person in their house. They wouldn't want that person, to be seen with them. Want to sit next to them at church." But I've had people like that who actually treat me more human than people I call friends or family. Call it crazy. It's reality. Times reality is crazy, but it's the truth. Fortunately, I'm not the type of person to adapt a lifestyle that I don't believe in. I don't believe in their lifestyle. But it's the fact that I see some people who are struggling, find acceptance, struggling to find their place in this world, turn to people their type of lifestyle, because they feel like, I can't get accepted over here. I can't get accepted over here. But these people who society frowns on treat me. They just talk. They talk about life. They don't try to drag you into what they're doing, but they talk. And when they tell their story, it's amazing to hear. Depression can push you in a lot of places. It is a constant battle in the mind of a depressed person. to focus, to stay focused? Should I stand up? Should I at least try? Should I put any effort toward? When somebody's depressed and they're sitting in that room and every door locked, they just get to the point where they honestly feel like this is it. I'm just waiting. Because they honestly don't, they should try anymore. Because they don't see any door opening for them. That's why I say that sometimes. Now, like I said, again, I'm not saying that a person should, if you're on medication or anything like that from your doctor, your psychiatrist, fine and good, please, I don't you anything about that. I'm just talking about my personal beliefs regarding depression. But some things I feel that appeal cannot correct. And it's just a fact. It's just a fact. Because when you sit on your couch, you sit on your bed, you sit in your kitchen, no matter what you do, no matter what you drink, no matter what you smoke, no matter what you do to try to calm your nerves, the situation is still there. And those alternative ways of dealing with it does nothing but make it worse. It makes you think about it more. You have to learn how to deal with things. But when you're dealing with somebody that's depressed, just tell them deal with it. You can't just tell them get it. Oh, be a man, be a woman. Come on, women don't do that no more. We're independent. That person is looking for solutions. Some people are looking for a second chance. And so for some people, the solution to them coming out of depression is a second chance. Like I said, this is not a world built on offering solutions. It's built on taking. Or a second chance is like, yeah, I do this for you, but what you gonna do for me? People don't want to help just to help anymore, which is why you find so many people struggling right now. So many people trying to figure out how to get out, how to get up. And then you got those people sitting in them room, looking at every door they've knocked on, trying to find a way out to change their life, and they can't. And the sad thing is they realize they can't. And all they need is somebody to tell them, I want you to live. I want you to fight. Some people just need somebody to knock on their door from the other side to let them know that they're there. Because some people are sitting in their mind and it's quiet and there's nobody there for them. Some people need to know that there is somebody there. Even if they can't see them, they just need to know that there's somebody there. The saddest thing trapped inside your mind, and know that in reality, there's no one there. A lot of screaming in their mind. Some people are screaming, literally, from their voice, with their voice, and nobody's hearing them. You ever somebody screaming on the street and people just keep walking? A lot of press because they need solutions, need to understand how they can fix the situations in their life. Even if they got in those situations themselves and they're trying to turn them, they need to understand how. Some people have fought so hard, been punched so many times. You know, this week I found myself with a really sore back for like 2 days. And on the third day when the soreness went away, because I found every time I got up, I was walking kind of hunched because that's the only way my back felt better. I had to lean forward like I was hunched over. Even my back felt better. I realized that every time up, I was still walking hunched over because mentally that pain was still there. Mentally, I was thinking that's the way it should be. And maybe somebody is feeling that right now. Something happened somewhere in your life, something you went through, and you're still carrying that weight, that discomfort, that pain. Just try standing up. Just try standing up and just walk. It won't be easy. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that everything's gonna work out in 2 to 3 days, but you just gotta keep pushing and keep and until you find that you motivated yourself again, because a lot of times people won't motivate you. You encourage and motivate yourself because nobody else is gonna do it. You have to do it for yourself. And I know it's hard. It's hard to always have to encourage yourself because I find myself doing that a lot. I really do. I send out a lot of motivation. I say a lot of encouraging things to people I don't even know on social media. Something I just wish them. I always say something to encourage them, but rarely back. So I had to learn to encourage myself, and sometimes I get tired. It's like I keep telling myself the same thing, but it's the only voice of encouragement I have. So you get that voice inside of you and just let it replay. Eventually it'll kick in. It'll kick in, but don't give up. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't let nobody make you up.